You're listening to Prep Insider Radio with your hosts, Tommy Morris.
Good. This is nothing to do with State Creek baseball. I'm sorry, but have you seen a series of fortunate events?
Christian Pedersen.
I mean, I'm out here grinding. I'm putting in hours. I'm getting there at 5 a.m. to cheer on the water polo team at practice. I'm showing up to our basketball team. I'm showing up to our football games. We don't even have a football team, and I'm supporting that.
Noah Laxina.
And Noah Laxina's number 3 tip for Valentine's Day is...
Chill.
Yeah.
Things are going to be all right. All right? You don't want to force it. Let it happen. You're going to be all right.
And Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live.
I mean, he brought basketball into that one. I got to give him 9 out of 10. I like that.
We welcome you into another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. I am Christian Pedersen. I'm joined in studio, actually. 7.5 feet away from me is Noah Laxina. Masked up. Yes, that's why we are 2 in a studio, 2 remote right now to make sure everybody is as safe as possible. Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the San Diego State. Whoa, wait, you're in a different space than you've ever been before, Bodie. This is a new location for you to Zoom with us.
Whoa, where are you at?
Whoa.
No, I moved last week. So.
Buddy, where are you now?
I'm in Encinitas.
North County guy.
Yeah.
Tommy, is that you trying to bond up with some of your new North County kindred spirit as you have moved
Yeah,
as
now I'm a
well?
North County guy too, so I'm trying to just some friends out here.
We'll put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider. Do you suddenly feel like there's way too much North County on the show?
On the show, way too much.
There's way too
Yeah,
much.
that was the sentiment before. Now it's even worse.
You can find our show on Twitter and Instagram at SD Prep Insider. You can find Bodie De Silva, as I was saying, the official content provider for Scorebook Live. SB Live CA is their account. SD Preps is his account. It's also his license plate. It's what he does it's who he is. He's that man. Tommy Morris is also joining us. Tommy Morris, as he said, is now firmly entrenched among the North County community as a new person. Tommy, have you found your jogging route and everything? Is life settled down there for you? Well, maybe he'll unmute himself. Maybe he won't.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Horrible. I was thinking grab somebody else's Starbucks in accident. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. Yeah, life has slowed down. It is being. Hopefully, we'll get some sports running soon, so I'll have something to do. Until then, I'm just decided I'm going to become a professional golfer and a professional NHL 21 player.
Like the video game?
Oh yeah, I'm into it. I haven't won a game yet, but I'm into it.
Can you? I bet you'd be starting a lot of fights though, huh?
I bet you'd be starting a lot.
Yeah, I don't know the button for that yet. I'm still getting around to that. I think it's Y. I think you press Y.
I feel like
I'm really not sure.
I feel like you'd be the person to start a game, get in a fight, but then the computer's just hitting you and you don't know how to hit back. And you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I recently learned the button for how to make a guy just lay out and dive on the ice, which I'm a huge fan of.
I love that.
Yeah, a lot of you can't do that into people. I found out that is a penalty. So do not do that into people. That is illegal. That's frowned upon.
How do you like your neighbors?
I've not talked to them yet.
Yeah, I don't think you can meet your neighbors really.
Can't
right now. I'm
gonna put this friend saying, "Hey, what's going on?" But yeah, I can't really meet him yet.
Yeah, like, hey, what's up? I'm Tommy. Just wanted you to try some of my COVID casserole.
Well, no, I suppose this is the perfect time to move if you're antisocial.
True.
You just don't want to meet your new neighbors. You don't have to go through that whole awkward, oh, hey, are we going to be friends process? Nope, just into the house, seal the bubble back up, adios. Man. All right, well, we're coming to you. This is our first show of 2021. We're all hoping this is a bounce back year, to borrow a sports term. We are hoping that we are the Alex Smith of this season. I think the human race is hoping to channel those Alex Smith vibes and come back from the brink a little bit.
From from the bottom, out the mud.
Yes. We can get some Drake references in here, I'm sure, as well. We can cover the whole spectrum. But, right now we are still in this precarious zone where every week we have to come to you sort of saying the same thing, which is we don't have anything new or definitive to tell you. There has not been a announcement from the governor saying, yes, everything is, in writing, good to go. Here we go. Football starts this day, or no, it doesn't. Right now, we are still under the impression, and Bodie, stop me if you know anything different or more relevant, but we are under the impression that starting on the 25th, competition will resume based off of what tier we are in. Right now, we are in purple tier, which would mean that golf and cross country can get underway, and that is it. If we move,
Correct. Yeah, there's some other sections. I mean, the few teams in the state that might have skiing or snowboarding, they can start as well, but that's clearly not any of our sports in our section.
Bodie, should we make a hard push to have skiing and snowboarding explode here in the San Diego scene so that teams can just drive?
Oh, I'd love it. Let's get a warehouse, and then we can, what some of those other countries that don't have snow naturally, they take like a huge warehouse and do artificial snow. Let's do it.
One of those carpet things.
Yeah.
Imagine how
now we're really getting crazy.
Can you imagine how dragged we would get if we showed up to the state CIF ski meet? Like the San Diego section would not be good. We would not. I don't think any of our athleticism down here would translate necessarily. But we'll put that on the poll too at SD Prep Insider on Twitter and Instagram. If we had to, do you think our section would be good at skiing and snowboarding? Was that the only one, Bodie, or was there one other sport these? It was those were the winterish.
Without having the map in front of me, I think cross country's on that. Is it?
Yes.
Not?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's cross country and
golf and tennis.
Golf. No, I don't think tennis.
I know it's not a CIS sport, but surfing isn't that? Can we do that?
You would think. Yeah. I
think we'd be able to win that.
Bodie, you're right.
I challenge any other section in the country. We would beat everybody, I would think.
I would agree.
You know what? Whatever, the planet. I don't think there's any section in the planet. I really don't. I honestly, like, maybe somewhere in Brazil.
There could be like some islands, like someone down in Tahiti if they put a team together.
Oh, yeah, Hawaii's pretty good.
I feel like we just got too much homegrown talent, period. We dominate.
Dude, yeah, you have guys like Sean White who can do like every single sport. Tony Hawk could probably surf. You got a bunch of kids like that.
Yeah, we need to come up, like, instead of like the triathlon, come up with a surf, skate, snow combo.
Ooh. If they had surfing over here, we'd have to get some like SDPI Hawaiian polos and row out there with shorts and like cover the whole thing. That would be amazing.
Yo, we should just make those anyway.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Hey,
anyway.
Okay, wait.
Like
let's discuss this. Let's discuss this right here, right now. Is 2021? Do we need a relaxed vibe for 2021?
Yeah,
is going into 2020 like is this island vibes here?
Mm-hmm.
Is 2021 going to be all about the island?
Peace, man. That's what we're trying. That's at least.
Okay, I think we should do that. Let's decide that for 2021, if you see us out at a game, we're going to be wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
It's going to be like Pro Bowl season all year round.
Yes, there's another.
I actually would like to do this because they're way more comfortable than the golf polos.
Yes, and we are.
And they count as fancy. They also count as They count as fancy shirt.
Get it on the polos.
Don't they?
Yes. Yes. I laugh internally.
I think it does.
I laugh internally because I think about the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they decide the Tommy Bahama shirts are their new best friend now that they've all gained a ton of weight because it lets them be formal wherever.
It's the go-to.
But yes, Tommy, I agree with you thoroughly, 100%. We're gonna put it on the poll.
You could get away with a Hawaiian shirt at anything, maybe even a black tie event. You could get away with a Hawaiian shirt if you have the right pants on. I think you could.
I feel like at the worst, they'll understand where you're coming from. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
I get it. I don't like it, but I
get
get it.
it.
All right, so we'll put that on the poll. And no, we're for sure. That is an official. We knocked on we hit our gavel on the bench. That is an official decree. 2021 beach vibes. We're going Hawaiian polo shirts. Other companies in this town have their distinct look out and about. That's played out.
Yeah,
it's Hawaiian shirts
different.
now.
We're coming different.
We're coming different. If you guys want a Hawaiian shirt, hit us up, and we will indoctrinate you into the SDPI. Island Vibes Nation. The fraternal order of Island Vibes. I like that. Bodie, 4 teams now have been revealed in San Diego's Scorebook Live top 50. I am anxious. I saw some discussion of this circulating on Instagram yesterday, and the reports are, and I don't know if you're allowed to spoil this or not, so maybe you can sort of hint at what's going on here or where they are. Like, I'll hold up number of fingers, and you can tell me where they rank. But where in the top 10 does La Jolla rank in the state? Just tell me when to stop.
Pretty high.
Just tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop.
I mean,
they're top 5.
At least top 3.
Okay. I'll take that as a hint. We will have to stick around make sure that you are following at SB Live CA for the next several weeks, because it sounds like we still have about
post notifications.
Sounds like we still have 11 days left to go until they announce where La Jolla could be potentially ranked in the state.
We're going to start doing 2 a day, so should be out there.
What? 2 a days?
Damn, Bodie, you guys that confident that football's coming back that you're willing to crank that up to 2 a day? Good for you, man. But in all seriousness, though, we know that there are still a couple of teams here in San Diego, but kind of give us the layout of, how hard was it to get these top 25 or these 2 teams in the top 25, 4 in the top 50 so far? Because I think that a lot of people here in San Diego, they look at whoever, Helix, Carlsbad, Helix, Carlsbad, Cathedral, Torrey Pine, basically the 5-6 teams up in the top of the Open Division, and then one that wins somewhere else is like, oh yeah, those are our boys. We're so good at football, but we'll get 5, 6, something like that out of the top 50. How hard was it to place these teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's inexact. We do the best we can, but and especially now in such a weird year, the more coaches you talk to, you hear about kids that have now decided early, where maybe had this been played as regular, they were going to complete their whole year, and now they've kind of been pushed to, hey, the odds of a season are just, it's unclear. As much as they want to play the end of their high school career, it's just not sure what they'll even be able to get in. So as you go through, I mean, some of these teams I'm sure will jump up and some will move down if we're able to get a season in. But yeah, for the San Diego teams, they're just looking back, so many of them return so many pieces. I mean, Oceanside, talking to Coach Rodriguez last week, I mean, they lost every offensive lineman, but they returned every skill guy. I think they returned 8 on defense. I mean, that's a team that so many people are looking forward to seeing this year. I mean, Kavika too, obviously we know of, but just when you got a returning quarterback, you've got returning linebackers, it just so many teams like that within the county. We know Helix is always loaded like that, and Cathedral's got a ton of young pieces. So kind of just figuring out who those top teams are, but it's not to say for sure that those are a lock come if we're able to have a season that those are for sure our top 5 teams, because we know there's those next 5, 7 after that'll have a chip on their shoulder and want to get some of that action.
I wanted to bounce around a little bit. Anything else left on the top 50, or can we move on?
I'm good.
All right. Chris Olave was the tip of this iceberg for me, but a lot of kids from San Diego balling out over the last month of college bowl games. Obviously, Olave will always be the shining beacon of that as the starting wide receiver for Ohio State, who, makes his presence very felt in a very, very big game. Yeah. But I mean, it ranged from like Leviticus Tharp, a freshman from Lincoln last year at Memphis, getting some unexpected playing time late in the season in bowl games. Bodie, anything catches your eyes watching all these bowl games and seeing some San Diego kids out there?
Especially with Chris, I mean, it seems so recently. I was just watching him play whatever it was, 4 sports his senior year. I loved that he went out for baseball and saw some time in the outfield and basketball. I mean, him and Warren Washington, they powered that team through, and just to see all of what he could do. And then you get to college and you focus on one, and he goes from, I mean, unfortunately he missed his junior year. Otherwise his recruitment would have taken off early. But I mean, for a guy that so many Ohio State fans barely even know of, and from day one he went in and made that impact. And now you look ahead and he's being projected as a first-round pick in the NFL draft. So cool to see that. And you move ahead a little bit, the all-pro teams in the NFL came out, and to see San Diego have 2 of the guys on is really awesome.
And
it's Fred Warner, obviously from Mission Hills, and Jake Bailey from Santa Fe Christian. So
there you go.
Dang, Santa Fe Christian, huh?
Yeah, there's also Jason Myers from Mater Dei Catholic. I think he's the current longest consecutive amount of field goals made. Or one of the, like, I just jinxed him, obviously.
I think that sounds right.
But yeah, he's had quite the season. I know that there was guys in the Pac-12 like CJ Verdell who had amazing seasons that ultimately did not make it to bowl games because the Pac-12 did not play enough games. Jack Tuttle had just talking about the flip side of that Olave coin. He had a reemergence late in the year with Indiana, but especially when you get to see it in that postseason play type vibe, it's really something fun and special. Because
those games that the country's watching, and I mean, I see so many guys on my timeline that just look up and have loved what Chris has done and put on for San Diego, guys that he's trained with from young in high school, and being like, hey, that's the guy. Like he's really putting on a show for San Diego.
Well, I'll say this dude plays special teams too. I love how he makes special teams play. Like he's all over the field. I think you see that with a lot of San Diego kids when they get to college. Like they just want to play, and all of them they're representing not only by their talent but just how hard they play from first snap to the last snap. They're running hard.
Can I send out a subtweet and say that he did this all while being a very nice, approachable young man in high school who had no massive social media following or endorsement brands or documentaries being filmed about him? He just showed up.
He didn't have a last dance.
He just showed up to play every day, and now he's the best wide receiver in the country, and he's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick.
How about his high school quarterback in his starting game?
Yeah. That was an interesting one in high school too, because I don't think it was easy to tell if one of them was making the other one so wide open. Because at the high school level, you would never have lined up against them, right?
Same year, I used to play against Chris in AAU basketball growing up, and we ran a track.
But you never got any sort of 7-on-7 action or anything against Mission Hill. Bodie, Tommy, you can also maybe hopefully remember and call back to some of this. It was hard to tell because Tuttle would be bigger than everybody in the backfield, scramble a little bit, and buy a ton of time, but then be able to make the throw 60 yards downfield to Olave, who was 15 feet past the defensive back. And you didn't know, is this Chris Olave's explosive deep speed, but he's a small guy, or is this Tuttle's got this mammoth arm and enough mobility? And you kind of found out
both are correct.
Yeah, Mission Hills just had 2 D1 guys that year, and that was
what it was.
Well, what also made it harder is Chris wasn't able to play his junior year.
Yeah.
So you didn't have. If he would have played his junior year, I think it would have been more obvious. But he kind of came out of the reason he came out of nowhere is because he literally did, because he didn't play one year. So it was all. I mean. It is pretty. I mean, I'm happy for him. The fact that he's able to go through that and come out of it and be potentially a guy who's going to be picked in the top 32 picks in the NFL draft this year. I mean, it's awesome.
Yes, it is extremely awesome, and it's good to see all of the kids at the next level. We had people ranging from the Army, Navy, the Army Academy, the Navy Academy, the Air Force Academies, to Ohio State, to
we're diverse,
San Diego State. There's a lot of cool and different things coming out. There's actually been a lot of kids lately ramping up their commitments. We are approaching yet another National Letter of Intent signing day. Is about a month away. Bodie, anything on the horizon where we should tease to the people like, hey, X, Y, and Z, there's a couple of superstars still yet to commit, and we're looking forward to seeing them. I will say on the show, while I filibuster to give you time to prepare for my question, Abdi Ali from Crawford High School,
right? Yep.
Going to Chardon State, or Chadron. The D and the R there kind of flipped for whatever reason in my small brain. Chadron.
Yeah.
Chadron. That's cool. That's awesome.
The Fighting Danny Woodheads.
That's to me, that's kick ass. That Coach Marquez has put in a ton of work there.
And it's paying off.
Building up that program, and he gets a new stadium. I know it wasn't like a direct payoff, but he gets to take that program into a new era, new stadium, new vibe, and he hasn't left for a bigger, better job or anything like that. He has stayed there. He's still coaching track. He's still helping kids now rack up offers and actually execute on them, because it's one thing to get the offers. It's the other thing to take the leap and actually sign that letter of intent. So congratulations to him. Bodie, anyone else?
And also on that staff, too, is Kendall Mooney, who does it. Sorry, not to get off. On that staff too is Kendall Mooney, who does a really good job of helping kids find places to play. So they're doing the right thing out there in Crawford.
It's really awesome to see. Bodie, commitments that have been made or you think that will be made. I'll say one that's going to be interesting is Carmen Beechin opens his recruiting back up from Arizona State. That'll be interesting to see where he winds up. I will preview that maybe he ends up being the Don Chapman of this class, that bounces around a little bit and leaves you questioning, or at least left me questioning, is this a him fitting there, or are these coaches seeing something in his ability to play that we are not seeing, and losing some interest or confidence in him? Winds up at North Carolina and absolutely kills it, and goes nuts. I will be curious to see. I think that Don got love here, but did not get the commensurate amount of love for being a quality Division I linebacker like he is. Beacham seems like that kind of a scenario to me, where he might end up being somebody that you kind of look, oh, forgot that he winded up committing there because that was like his third school, but then ends up being a huge, huge name at the next level. Anyone else you're looking at, Bodie?
Yeah, there's a couple early on, 2 guys that both committed to service academies, Jesse Campbell from Mater Dei Catholic and Mo Vanderbilt from Torrey Pines, both opened up their recruitments. I think obviously you're hopeful that they can get some film in. You'd love to get that back out and see what their options are. Zach Shipper from Vista is another one, opened up his recruitment. So just guys that I'm sure need film and hopefully can find a way to get on the field and find a college spot for next year.
I'll say it's also kick-ass to see other sports continue to commit. We have softball. We have Megan Royal from Carlsbad committing for golf at Arkansas. We're a weirdly diverse city.
Tommy, we're global, man.
Tommy, I would throw golf in there with your previous assertion for tennis and surf, that we would just take out everybody globally. I think would be pretty dang good at golf.
Oh, I'm like a pro golfer now, by the way.
Well, then we might never see Tommy in here again.
Right.
Tommy can't.
And next time he zooms in, he's gonna be on the golf cart.
So I was golfing this week, and never had an eagle before, and randomly there were 2 kids who were actually on the Coronado golf team. Shout out Coronado Golf, who were grouped with me. And the first hole they were with me, I shot an eagle, and I try to act like I do it all the time. So
well,
we gotta go. We gotta find out.
Shout out Trevor and Tucker from Coronado. They think they're the best golfer ever.
When you're playing in the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines this summer, be sure to leave us some tickets.
I'm trying to see.
No, league the hell out of you guys. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I don't even know you.
All right, as you said, Trevor and Tucker. Tommy, you said Trevor and Tucker.
Trevor and Tucker. Yeah, I don't know the last names, but nice kids.
All right, just
they're good.
At SD Prep Insider, just put a shout out to Trevor and Tucker from the Coronado High Golf Team. Always curious how people receive these polls. Right now, Hawaiian shirts counted as formal is currently winning with 67% of the vote. So I think we're on to something.
It's early.
We're on to something this year. So let's close out with this. Our update is that we are still in purple. Right now, we are starting to butt up against if we're going to trend down into red, it has to happen soon. If we're going to trend down into yellow or orange, it seems impossible. It seems like that's not going to happen. So I think that the question now becomes, what is the bare minimum of football season that can happen? I've sort of said a couple of times, I think it has to be Valentine's Day-ish. Allow people to get like a 4 to 5 week season in and then still do playoffs, or do something a little bit past that and do no playoffs, just a regular season. But I wanted to ask, guys, is there a point where it's worth it to even just do like bowl games and just be like, look, in March, we're going to let every school come back and play its rivalry game? Like the battle of the like give them 2 weeks to train up, and then Olympian and Otay can play, and then you get one other game.
If you're gonna do it, you got to do more than one game. Doing it for one game just seems kind of pointless, to be honest. It's just too much. It's too much for not enough. If that makes any sense.
So there's a cutoff point.
Yeah. 5 games.
For me, I'd look at it as something as like three games against like district opponents and like one fun rivalry or something at the end. I think you got to get 4 at least if you're going to try and come back at all.
Yeah, because it takes so much just to go, like, to put into being ready to play, like to put in all that, like put in the whole system, have a schedule, and then you only play one game. It kind of like defeats the purpose. I think you're putting people at risk just for one game. I mean, I feel like four games would be pretty good. Like,
well, I'm saying you would be less. I'm not saying you would necessarily be putting people in risk unless you're just talking about like broken bones. Because this to me would happen in like last week of March. So, long enough from now that it could be viably, safely done.
Yeah, but you'd have to like condition for a month for one game, which I don't know if the cost benefits there.
Well,
I'm all for like something's better than nothing, but I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm curious of what that, because I feel like there is momentum right now on social media for we are going to take this governor out of office because of the way he's acted towards high school football. We're going to have 10,000 parents sue him. Like, there's obviously a passion for it, but I'm trying to figure out just what the passion is for. Is it for the is it for the going through the competitive nature of a season? Is it actually for just the love of the game of football? I think it's leaning more towards people don't actually want like the act of tackling back. They want the process of going through a season and going through that brotherhood and that kind of stuff. And that's what I think is interesting is,
well, I think there's a lot of parents that they see their kids at home and all their kids are heartbroken because they don't get to play. And I think that's what it's about, if you ask me.
There's definitely a lot of passages where how do we direct that into a season like that? I feel like there's so many questions that need to be answered, and I think everyone's coming from such a different perspective that no one's able to find common ground on what we really need, like what we should really do.
Completely agree with you.
Just a little news from a neighboring state, but Arizona voted this morning to cancel their entire winter sports season. So,
oh really?
That was not something I was expecting.
So they really just came back to grab that football money and like.
Yeah, they knew they had a couple top teams nationally.
Huh. And that's statewide, no high school sports for the entire winter season.
Yeah, the Arizona Interscholastic Association Executive Board voted to cancel the 2021 winter high school sports season. It had previously postponed until January 18th, but now nothing. So it'd be interesting to see if they do something for spring, because I think at least in San Diego, I mean, I'm more optimistic for outdoor sports. So ones like baseball or softball where there's very limited contact, I think there's a good chance those get played. I know it's tough to tell the other athletes, hey, you got your season canceled, but it's the whole thing sucks, obviously. But I'd like to think if we can get in some sports, those have the better chances of at least getting played.
I'm looking right now. Orange, the moderate tier, gets us back outdoor basketball, which does no good for us, but it's funny that we'd get one version of it back. It would get lacrosse. It would get soccer, volleyball, water polo. You'd get a fair amount. You get track and field, swim and dive. You get a decent amount of sports coming back at that next tier. So I'm with you, Bodie. I'm being a little bit optimistic there. But it certainly seems like I would come back for the one game. I would say that taking one rivalry game against Mission Bay or something like that for me in high school would have been infinitely more worth nothing. But I guess that's just me. Let us know what you think at SD Prep Insider on Twitter, on Instagram. You can find us there and let us know. Any closing notes before we say adios? Yeah, please.
Someone else that I know, because I know we talked about Chris Olave, but Devin Lloyd from Otay Ranch High School. He was All-American. He was an All-American, and then some people don't really know about, but Demetric Felton, he went to Great Oak, but growing up he played youth football over here, and he was a monster. So like, I know the youth people, at least in my age, knew Demetric Felton and Pop Warner, and he was disgusting. And now he's at UCLA. He just declared for the draft. So those are two other big time guys.
I have a question. Can we just take like the Temecula area schools and call them San Diego at some point? I feel like we're pretty close to that.
The annexation
Palmer's
of Temecula.
like right over there anyway.
So you got to do business with them.
How do
you take them in?
There's some good I mean, you got the public schools with Great Oak, Chaparral, Temecula Valley, Rancho Christian's become a big name in basketball.
This Marietta.
Yep. Yeah, Marietta Valley.
So should I put that on our poll at SD Prep Insider? Should we annex Temecula to join our section?
We need to like send them a DM, just like, hey, big head.
Well, I wonder.
Send them some care packages or something. I don't know.
I wonder how this would officially be done. Like, if you'd have to do the state to redraw it, or if you could get like the Temecula school district to petition
just
to
all
just
agree.
Like we got.
Subdivision is too many teams. We should just take some of them. We'll take San Clemente too, or whatever.
We get to
like the schools like
Jesus.
We should
Where
take
do you
Jay
cut
Sarah.
it off at, like Jay Sarah?
Yeah, J Sarah and South, and then
Tommy doing some ridiculous gerrymandering
try
to
and get-
redraw the section lines.
Yeah, we'll take Mission Viejo. We'll take all those schools, and then the Southern section can deal with the rest of it. I think that's fair.
Somehow our section winds up going all the way up to Long Beach Poly. Just like takes just the sliver of just the 5 freeway up to the 405. Takes an
Okay, the
exit right
73
along.
freeway
The
down.
drawing is
73
gonna be
freeway
weird,
down is
but I
fair,
like it.
in my opinion.
I like this, Tommy. Let's dedicate the hey, we've had too much downtime. We've redrawn all the districts, so we are the best. We are the best of the sections.
This is
Nationally.
like 100 teams. Like what? They don't need more than.
Oh, you're saying they're just not gonna. You're saying they're just not gonna
100 more.
notice if they just
They're
are
just
like.
gonna be like, oh, all
Well,
right.
no idea. Nobody knows.
They're like, wasn't there like 2 other schools in the Trinity League last year? No. Oh, all right. Oh well, whatever.
That I'd be kind of sick if you had a cross section league. Hasn't been done before.
Huh.
Think about that.
You know, I think we just don't get the right amount of it because we have like legit barriers between all of us and other sections. Like getting up to Temecula, there's nothing up there between us and them.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
up to the southern section, we got Marine.
Well, I mean, okay, the San Clemente cutoff makes sense because of Penn, but east there's no like physical thing. Like if you take the 15
Yeah,
long
other
enough,
than just boring ass emptiness.
Just
Earth. Just earth. Tons and tons of earth. I like that. And wind farms. Wind farms.
well, what's the sign when you drive into Temecula? It's like Temecula, like great opportunities lie ahead or something like that. You know, does anyone know what I'm talking about?
No.
No, but I'll go with it.
I'm gonna look this up.
Tommy, you should apply to be the mayor of Temecula. Just tell them the new slogan for our city is great
T
opportunities.
for
are-
Temecula, man.
And if you ever get in a fight about,
meet me in
sports, you can just
Temecula.
drive to Temecula and fist fight somebody. So
Dude, nobody knows the origin of that reference that is not like in our group chat. Like there's like
it's one of the. I think everybody knows that story. It's one of the best stories of all time.
Tommy, can you give the 15-second recap of that story before we get out of here?
Yeah. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. But on Christmas Day, I think this was like 5 or 6 years ago, 2 guys got in an argument on Twitter over whether or not Kobe Bryant was good or not. And one lived in San Diego, one lived in L.A., and one of them challenged them to drive to Temecula and get in a fight. One of the participants drove, the other one didn't.
Because I've tried making
But
that
somebody on Christmas with their family was so riled up about this
That they
argument
had to
on
take
Twitter
the
that
hour drive to Temecula.
because I said I've made this reference
Over
a couple
some Twitter
times.
fingers.
Yeah, I've made this
You
reference
can't
where I'm
make it
like,
up.
"Oh, you mad? Oh, you drive to Temecula mad?" And everyone just looks at me and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, you don't get it.
no one got it." As with many of my jokes, no one gets them.
I just can't understand what would make you that angry.
I feel like
I don't know.
some way on that hour-long drive, you're like, what am I doing? Like, you know, like there would have to come a point where the
Maybe
steam
enough
would
time
just
to calm
blow
down,
off.
but I guess not.
Unless like you could just refill your brain with constant, I'm gonna freaking hurt him.
You're for sure just listening to angry music the whole
Yeah,
time to
you're
pump
listening
yourself
to-
up.
just white knuckling this steering wheel the whole way there, just like basically ripping the thing off. I'm so angry. I don't think I could maintain that level of anger for that
I
long.
can't. It's
think I don't know.
impossible.
Like what do you? Yeah, well, I avenged sevenfold for an hour straight. Like what's the? I got the 2 white guys on the show to laugh at that joke at least.
I'm just.
And that was a
uncoachable.
man. That's just an old guy thing because those were Avenged Sevenfold was in 2 different Maddens. So
True.
I can't find the sign. It's driving me nuts.
Well,
Google's
Tommy, when
failing
you
me.
do find it, tweet it out to us. You can follow Tommy at Real Tommy Morris. You can follow Bodie at SD Preps. You can follow Noah at Noah_Lax 2017 or 17, depending on if it's Instagram or if it's Twitter. But he's an icon in all rights and regards that you need to follow him. Guys, any closing notes before we get out of here? I'll take
Good
that
to
as
be
a
back. It's been a little bit.
hell yeah, man! It's good to be back.
New year. Let's get going.
Whoop whoop.
Big moves.
And then let's get in here because we've added more video games. I got the new Tony Hawk, or not the new, but I got the remake of Tony
the
Hawk 1
1
and 2.
plus 2.
Whoa.
Yes. So
Shout
that
out to Tony Hawk who doesn't get recognized enough.
like literally doesn't get literally
person literally doesn't get recognized enough.
Yeah, but that's one that I don't even know if that applies to your generation or if that just counts as like a
Nah,
throwback game
Tony
for you.
Hawk is like
Timeless.
When you think of skateboarding, that's like
But no, but the
you know
video
San
games.
Diego
But the
guy.
video
Oh
games.
yeah, I always played Tony Hawk on like my PS2, Well, see, I don't know. I feel like after me is the cutoff though.
Deal.
Because like we're the after it's like goes from like, oh, we got a PS2, we had the regular Xbox, and then like after that it's like, oh, we have the Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? Like the technology gap just.
Yeah, because what they did was just they reskinned Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So it's like the full, just complete remake of those games with modern graphics and physics engines and technology, and it's very, very exciting. Just another reason for us to get back in here so we can all distract ourselves while being a parody of a sports show. I'm looking forward to, I'll say this, if we're going ahead as planned, we only have like 3 weeks until we start doing golf broadcasts. And that's going to be funny. And that's going to be fun. And I'm so down for that.
I'm so down for that.
I mean, that just screams Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we have to bust them out. Day one. First,
we go down to the 9th green. Tell me, how was this guy's round today?
I only played 9 in high school.
No, they play all 18.
They do?
Don't they?
No.
Maybe is that just the championship games?
I think championship they do 2 9s, but I'm pretty. Buddy, correct me if I'm wrong. It's only 9 holes, right?
I think it's 9.
It's
yeah.
Do we have to address this?
We have a couple weeks.
No, I'm just curious. I'm curious. Of the 4 of us, who has been there at the actual CIF girls and guys?
Me, I have.
When?
He didn't see you, Grisham.
Like when you were there. You just probably didn't even notice. Look at the scores.
Deal.
Seriously, they're all like in the 30s. I don't think anyone's shooting 30 in a 18 hole unless they're like better than Tiger Woods.
Or a North Korean dictator.
What school is Tiger Woods' son going to?
That would be high.
He might be the head of.
Will he be the new Bronny? Will there be
the Bronny of San Diego high school golf?
There will be a generation. He's in San Diego?
I don't know. Well,
if we take Steel Canyon, we could take Steel Canyon for San Diego too. That's also a San Diego school. Or Sierra Canyon. Sorry, Sierra Canyon.
That's a little bit of a drive.
Hey, Ron likes San Diego.
Deal. Let's do that, Tommy. Let's go. Tommy, we'll next time we talk to you, he'll have Generalissimo Morris will have redrawn the borders of San Diego section. All righty, guys. It's really good to have you back with us, all you listeners. We really appreciate all the support in 2021 with the year to come. Is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of craziness. We will talk to you guys next week.